This conference will now be recorded.
We'll discuss how I'm going to control security on my apps. We create dashboard or we create data sets. Everything we keep in app. For example, let me show you. If I go to Einstein Analytics platform, let me close all the tabs. Okay. So now if I go to my all items, so you can see I used to create my dashboard. I used to create my lens or data set, whatever I want, I can create it. And then you can see I have some applications here. Let's consider I'm going to open the application Mind etc cell. Okay, I just click on this. Okay, now I'm in this app. So who can access that we can control? So how this app's going to be used and who are going to use it, who are going to access it? So under this app, I have a different dashboard, different data sets. Okay, now how these apps going to be shared and who are going to, what privileges we can set. So our analytics users, like when they are going to create an application, let's consider I'm going to create application here. I'm in the analytics studio. I click on the create and click on app. So I'm going to create an application, for example. Okay. So let's see, I'm going to create complete application. Okay. So I select my blank application. Okay, let's say I click on continue. I give the name as sample app one. I click on, this is one Einstein analytics application I'm creating here. So now when I'm creating, by default, kind of access privilege given, we'll see that. That is our first part. So now when analytics users start with any applications, okay, so they will start with view or access only. Okay, what does it mean? Let me show you. Basically, we are categorizing the access in three levels. One as a viewer, as a manager, as an editor. So in your platform, in your analytics platform, you will have your data set, your dashboard, everything in the app. Now, to this app, how you can access, you can either by viewer or manager or editor. Who can be? So we can define that access level to a particular user or to a particular group or to a particular role. Share the complete app or we can share individual data or lanes to a particular group. So I can have one application and that application I can share to a complete one user as a manager, or in the dashboard, in the app I have one dashboard, I can share this dashboard to a user only itself, not anybody else, not complete app. That kind of control we can do. Let's see in detail what I'm going to do here. Okay, so whenever I have to create apps, you can see I have one app. If in the app I have multiple items, like you can see my DTC sales app. I have different items, like some dashboards, some that is everything. You can see the list of things what we have here. Let me click and show you. So it's quite easy. Okay, just it's a administrative configurable thing. So you need to understand when you want to control it or not. Okay, so now you can see the details of here. Okay, so now when I create this application, you can see created by, last modified by, everything here. Okay, now if you want to run the applications, as I told you before, you can click on this run app. Okay, then my application will be run simply here. What are the dashboards and whatever thing we have, you can see everything here. Okay, this is already I have shown you how I'm going to do all the stories. Okay, so now whenever you create applications, so what is going to happen? By default, your application going to be visible as a viewer privilege. Then administrator can change this default setting to restrict or extend the access. So if there is one user who have the viewer access, then we can extend the access as a manager or as an editor. And we can, if somebody is a manager, we can change them to a viewer. Okay. Same way, all other applications created by any other individual users will be by default private, so we cannot see that. Okay, and the application when you're going to create, the application owner and administrator automatically have the manager access, and they can extend access to other user group, or role. So we can provide access to a user, to a group, or to a role as a viewer, or as a manager, or as editor. I'll show you how I'm going to do it. Let's understand theoretically what kind of thing we have when we do that. So I have categorized my access level in three parts as a viewer, manager, editor. If you see what kind of privilege you can do when you access the application as a viewer, or as editor, or as a manager. So if you have viewer access, then what you can do, if you have viewer access, the which nothing but a minimal access, you can view dashboard, you can view the lens, you can view the data set what you have in the applications. And if the underlying data set is in different application than a lens or a dashboard, then users must have access to both applications. For example, I have a data set. Okay, so this data is part of applications. This we may create part of this data set from another data set which is part of another applications. Then if you want us to have access to both the applications. So here nothing but the minimal access level what defined by default. So you have your access, and you view the dashboard, lanes, data set in the application itself. You have then data, okay. And if you have viewer access only, then you can also see who other have the access to this application. And if they have access, then you can save the content of the application to another applications or manager access to. Let's see, I have see there my application 1 and application 2. In application 1, I have a data set 1, and in application 1, I have the view access. Okay, and let's consider in application 2 also I have only view access. So I cannot take this data set and I cannot add this data set as part of these applications. So what I can, if instead of viewer access, if I have editor or in my second applications, then I can save where I can save the content of that application to another applications where I have edit or manage access that you can do. So these are the minimal things which a user can do if they have viewer access to the application. So same way, if a user have the only edit applications, which is nothing but more privileged than viewer, if they have edit access, definitely they can do whatever the viewer can do. Like they can access all the applications, they can access all the items in the application, they can access who have the access to application, and they can save the content to the dashboard, to the applications where they have edited access. And additionally, what they can do, they can modify the items in the same applications. Let's see, I have a application A1. Inside this, I have a dashboard and I have an edit privilege. Then what I can do, I can go and modify this dashboard, or I can create another data set on these applications. So we can save changes to the existing dashboard, lens, and data set in the applications. That we can do if you have edit privilege additionally. And if you have the manager privilege, what you can do, definitely you can do all these things what is your or editor can do. Apart from that, as a manager, you can change the sharing setting. You can change the application name. You can rename the application name, and you can delete the application name. So these three additional things you can do if you have manager privilege. So we should there are three level of access: viewer, manager, editor, which we can define to the user level, to the group level, or to the role level, and based on the access, what a user can do on the applications. So in the next session, we'll see how I'm going to. Yeah, anyhow, I have shown you in the previous session where I'm going to create applications, and that's what I was showing. That time I have shown you also, but now also I'll show you again how I'm going to provide this viewer and manager access to my Einstein applications. Thank you. Stay tuned for next session.